So, so there is another thing. So collagen is not necessarily only something that is being depleted, or elastin is a little bit different, but collagen, we know sometimes we can think about it. If you talk about hormones a lot, you probably talk about like osteoporosis, like the or in general, or the lack of bone mass, right? But it's not really that bone mass just depletes. It's just that it's being allocated in a non in a not in a youthful fashion. And sometimes collagen acts the same. So it's not
Hmm.
necessarily only about the lack of the depletion of collagen.
Okay.
It's also like how do we make collagen be dispersed or move around? And so a big thing as we grow older is something called technique, which is the constant downward gazing to our phones, screens,
Oh,
books.
oh, that's so frightening. Yes.
hmm
Okay.
And that
Technic.
basically like that forces our skin to fold. As we do it more and more and more, it folds in a more predictable fashion. So if it folded one way and we damaged collagen there a little bit, next time it's just easier for the skin to fold in the same place. So you're kind of greasing the groove there, and you're creating horizontal lines um, because of that repetitive motion.
So, like, because we're bending our heads
Yeah.
down, the neck is squishing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
Then
start
of
looking
course,
at my phone like this with it out
yeah.
of
By
my
the way,
head.
literally yes, literally yes. I mean, I do Anastasia obviously, which is she's more concerned about technique, but I as well. We have a like a little stand that elevates our computer,
Hmm.
so we're staring directly into the screen, and of course there is perimenopause or postmenopause reduction of estrogen,
Hmm.
which does anything from makes the skin thinner and reduces elasticity. So there is not only a collagen decline, but also elastin decline, hyaluronic acid decline, and thinning of the skin. So anything from more frail skin to more rigid to thinner to less elastic skin. So all of those things are hormone dependent. In some people, as you know very well, some women also and men have a decline in testosterone, and
Hmm.
testosterone is also a big player in collagen production. The main reason where you would hear, women complain that their husband's skin ages not as quickly as theirs is due to higher testosterone levels. So men on average have 25% thicker skin because of increased testosterone.
Yeah, I've read
Um,
too, like if you even use a little bit of testosterone or DHEA
yeah.
topically on your face as a woman, that it can increase the thickness of the skin.
Yes, and there are things. So, for example, vitamin A can do it without. There's actually a peptide called uh, PM3. I mean, we're researching it, but we're very early in researching it, so I guess I'm not like well versed in it. But it's a retinol mimetic, um, which is really good at making the skin thicker, but vitamin A retinol will do that as well. So um, it's not necessarily only hormones that will be able to do that.
Yeah.
And last, obviously, genetics. Not only thin skin or frail skin, but the other things like blood supply or the ability to deal with oxidative load.
Hmm.
There are specific genes that we know, like FOXO genes or collagen genes, hyaluronic acid genes, elastin genes. We know that different genes and their decline over time contributes to that. The good thing with genetics is that they're really not your destiny. There is epigenetics that is overlaid. So how we treat our body, what we do to compensate for different genetic tendencies that we have can really help. So that's
Hmm.
kind of a little bit about the causes. Um,
I hate it. I
yeah.
I mean, I know every woman does, but I think I've been neglecting because my
Mhm.
face has gotten a lot nicer and I haven't been as diligent with putting your products and my products on my neck as I should have. You whip it on the face
Yeah.
and now in the last couple of months I've been like twice a day going through my neck and chest and putting your
Yes.
serums on and then I put my
There,
creams
there is actually
on.
now there is a viral photo of a lady that, she's 80 or something like that. And she never used SPF on her neck, but she always used it on her face, and the difference is stark. So
Oh.
I think as far as like you've mentioned that there are mistakes that everyone does, and I think they're very common. One is skipping, kind of stopping at the jawline, right? Like not extending our skincare to our neck and chest, whether it's SPF or just skincare in general. Um, for the skin of the neck and chest specifically, I did mention retinol,
Hmm.
but the other side of it, by the way, the flip side is people using retinols which their face can handle. So, for example, like retinoic acid, which would be like tretinoin, a prescription
That's what I
retinol,
have. Yeah.
and
Don't
they
use that on
are
the neck.
not necessarily, but your neck
Okay.
has a harder time replenishing its barrier, like restoring its barrier, and tretinoin damages skin barrier.
Okay.
So, whether it's like retinoids or exfoliants, they need to be used less often on the neck and chest. Or when used, you really need to make sure that you are using things that contribute to barrier function.
Like,
So we have a pretty expensive product called BioBarrier. It mimics perfect skin barrier production, if you want to think about it like that in the skin. So that is one of the only products that I would say are not necessarily epigenetic at their core. What we do normally is like we really target, core cellular functions. This really is like the lower hanging fruit, which is like, okay, let's mimic what a good barrier is. We're going to put it on your skin, whether it is like omega 6 and 9, which in the skin you actually really need it, but you need good quality ones,
hmm.
or different antioxidants or things like that. If you want a significantly less expensive, if let's say biobarrier is really expensive and difficult to get for some people, I get it completely. My friend Kiran Krishnan
Hmm.
is a co-founder of a company called Siv, SIV. I don't know if you can get in Canada, to be honest. I'm hoping that you can. Obviously, I'm sure you can order it from the States. And that is really good for skin barrier. So it's based on probiotic spores. It's really good. Another brand, which I don't know anyone there, but they do a nice job, is called Skin Fix. People don't need, if people are okay with more conventional skincare that might have some preservatives or something like that, they don't subscribe to the clean skincare kind of ethos. Skin Fix is a good brand to use. But again, I want to give more options. I don't want to just like say you got to buy my $180 product. If you can afford 180
I
US
appreciate
dollars,
that about you. I do the
yeah,
same. I
the
do
end
the
of the
same.
day, at the end of the day, it's funny. We were talking off air. I just had a podcast with Dave Asprey come out. I'll tell you two things that are interesting. I did mention other brands there, and they cut it out.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I know it's kind of weird, but a lot of the comments we were getting is like, "Hey, I thought this guy is like, what's this guy's deal? Because he wasn't like pushing his products too much." Or good responses. Hey, normally people come and talk about their products a lot. I would love to talk about. I talk about our products all day. I'm a CEO of a company, co-CEO together with Anastasia, my wife. We talk about our products all the time. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to talk about my products, but I think it's important. What we set to do was this. We're a company who's a trailblazer. So we take ingredients that are not used in skincare or used very rarely, and we say, hey, we're going to create a market here. We're going to prove that these very, very, very effective products are, or ingredients are the most effective ingredients you can have. And of course, other companies are going to follow suit. That's what we would like. So in the case of NAD, NAD is now used, or NAD precursors are used, in many different companies. We were the first ones, but many other companies are using them now.
Hmm.
Whether they're using them ethically, do they work? Do they go through the correct, penetration contributors and make sure that they absorb? That's a different story, but we see it. Spermidine, actually, there is now one company who uses spermidine. We were the only ones. Now, Dr. Perricone, which is a huge, enormous company, started using spermidine. They use synthetic ones, which I'm really against, but that's a start.
Yeah, yeah.
Ectoin, we started. Now it's all over the place. So,
I think can I just say though that I think when you're speaking to an audience and with how much advertising is going on right now and everybody's got products to promote, when you hear somebody, and because I know when I'm listening to somebody and I know my audience too, you really appreciate when a person comes on a show that has a product that has no problem talking about other good products that are in the same lineup.
yeah, but
Like
because
I
that's
think
not
it
my.
shows that you're to be trusted.
Yes, but also I want to really emphasize the fact that these are, I don't feel, are my competition. Like we again, we talk off air, and we share experiences as far as like having a product and making sure the product is being understood correctly, and the people that the product can help know how the product could work for them.
Hmm.
And how do you speak to the people who would in fact get the results, and maybe weed out people who are, you know, uh, who it's not an important piece of information for them. Um, although both of us have a product that's supposed to go on the skin, right? I don't feel like this is my competition per se, because we are working together in raising consciousness around wellness, not metaphysical consciousness, but the attention around products that could improve skin wellness.
Hmm.
But my competition, for example, and I don't mind saying it, my competition is like something like Timeline Nutrition, because Timeline Nutrition is owned by Nestle, what I call the Monsanto of wellness.
Yep.
And like L'Oreal bought out the trademark to use it, so their skincare is basically L'Oreal. Like, this is my competition because they come into my turf, the wellness turf, and they use smoke and mirrors to make people think that that's a good product to use.
Hmm.
And that rubs me the wrong way, no pun intended, but that rubs me the wrong way. But a company like I don't know, like Civ, for example, or your creams that definitely help skin health, and I can run through many other companies. I don't feel like are my competition. I feel like they have other things that we don't offer, and because they have a
They
different philosophy.
complement each other, I
I
feel.
think these are different philosophies, and I think everyone has philosophies that speak to them. And at the
Hmm.
end of the day, uh, something is better than nothing. So if my philosophy doesn't hit home with someone, then
Hmm.
and it would be either they wouldn't use my product, or it would be either they would use my product and won't be it would be congruent with who they are as people, um, or they wouldn't use anything. Then I would rather them obviously use a different product that is congruent with them. And we see it a lot with professionals. We see it a lot with aestheticians, where they have a philosophy of, for example, less is better. They want to see, some aestheticians are like in love with essential oils. So they want everything to be essential oils, right? Or other ones are in love with the word organic. So obviously, like, you know, ectoin is made out of bacteria. It can't be organic. I mean, it's organic, but it can't be like USDA organic, right? So it's not the product for them. Or other ones are in love with like acids, which we don't make. They want to exfoliate everything. So we see it a lot, obviously, with people who are more interested in skincare and have developed some kind of agenda or some kind of ethos around it. But we see it also with individuals and how they live their lives, etc. So I'm an enthusiast. I don't mind talking about other products. I prefer not to curb my like to try to fence my words and probably come out as insincere or some kind of hack, which I think that about other people, to be honest. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I mean, and
I
at the
just
end of the
think
day, I
that
think,
so many of these things complement each other, right? Like
yeah,
you're a big believer that a woman should get her hormones up
yeah,
because of what that does for the skin. And
yeah,
you're going to be the
100%.
first to say, yeah,
Yes.
100%. You should be
I
combining this with our products because then you're going to just like, whoa.
And I'll tell you something else. Yes, and Haley Bieber just Haley. I never know how to say her name. Hailey whatever
Haley.
Bieber. Haley just sold her company for $1 billion. I don't know anyone who uses her products. So, do you? I don't.
No, I
Uh,
don't actually.
but imagine. So that's not the only company. So um, Aesop sold for $2.7 billion to Estee Lauder, I think, a couple years ago. So there's so much, believe me, it's not about making a profit. Really, there is enough profit to be made 1 billion times over.
Yep.
Um, it's about making a a difference in people in people's
Yeah.
lives that their ethos and your ethos align.
Yep. So let's
Period.
just jump back. I just want to
Yeah.
just back to the neck tissue because I know
Yeah. Yeah.
women are
Yeah. Yeah.
probably like, "Okay, you guys, tell us
Hey,
what we
yeah.
can do here." Is
Yeah.
it is it the case that we don't want to put a heavier cream on the neck because of the thin tissue? It'll like weigh it, I don't know, does it
No,
weigh
no,
it
no, no,
down?
no.
I don't know, or
So,
make it too greasy?
no, no, no. So actually, you are looking at it. So there are two ways that I would maybe look at the ways that at the neck tissue differently.
Okay.
Talking about the skin specifically, the skin as a whole doesn't receive hydration from the outside. So you cannot actually apply a moisturizer and it will elevate the hydration of your cells. Cells receive hydration from the bloodstream, basically from within, from cellular function they engage in, from lipids that are synthesized in your gut, in your liver, etc. Um, so what you can do in general is prevent depletion of water, so the sharing of water from with the environment, which is called transepidermal water loss. So basically, loss of water to the environment. If anyone is into like taping their mouth at night, why do we do that? It's because when we breathe through our mouth, we lose more moisture through our mouth and lungs to the environment, 20% more. So just to give a quick connection here. So moisturizers, although they're called moisturizers, they are just occlusives that prevent water from exiting the skin. If you think of people who like to put jelly patches under their eyes, there is a company called Dukes, which are a really cool company that said, I don't recommend, by the way, these things. They're all made in China and they are there is there is there is always some contaminants there. So I'm not saying to do that, but I think the concept is really cool because what are these patches doing? They're just preventing things from leaving the skin. So Dukes way back when said, "Hey, use whatever products you want to use. Put this on, and the products are going to work better."
Okay.
So that's occlusion for you. Um, Now talking about the neck. the the skin barrier, which is a contributor for prevention of water loss, but in general, it is what you perceive as hydration, is being expressed or being replenished through your hair follicles or your sebaceous glands in your hair follicles. And you just have less hair follicles on your chest and neck. So the thing that would prevent hydration from leaving your skin, being shared with the
Hmm.
environment, you just have less of, and it's replenished less well, and it's less reactive. And that is why I'm not necessarily telling you don't put a heavier cream. Actually, I'm saying, yes, you should put a heavier cream, but you could also actually, as I alluded to before, you could change also your epigenetics. So you can change how your skin holds on to moisture. I mentioned ectoin. This is an excellent molecule to do that because ectoin actually structures water in the skin, which of course we use that. And another product that we and very few other companies use because it's crazy expensive because it's patented. It's called Aquaxyl. And Aquaxyl dials up the expression of hydration genes in your cells. So genes that are involved with like hyaluronic acid production is an example for other ones as well, but that's what people are going to know. So that's what I focus on. So I think we're the only company that has both Ectoin and Aquaxyl. We also know that higher NAD levels and spermidine both improve hydration and improve skin barrier function. So
Both
these are
internal and external spermidine?
both internal and external
Okay.
spermidine. Both
Okay.
internal and external spermidine actually together would be best,
Yeah, that's what
both
I do.
oral and topical.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing you cannot get from oral is improving the skin's microbiome. So one of the coolest um, published studies in a very, well thought of magazine, looked at the improvement in skin function due to topical spermidine application. But what was really surprising the scientists is the improvement in skin barrier function and in microbiome function in the skin. So bear that in mind. So spermidine is one of those things that we really want topically as well as orally.
Hmm.
Exactly like NAD precursors. NMN, there is a new molecule that we've started to use that is a derivative of niacin. It's like menthol and niacin, basically. I know it's a really weird molecule, but it's really cool. But also things that help you recycle NAD, make more NAD. So if you think of companies like BioStacks, have you ever heard about a company called BioStacks?
No.
Ben Greenfield recommends them. Other people, other like influencers recommend them. They're now, I guess, in Vitamin Shop as well, and here in America. And you'll see like they have an NAD boosting or oral product, but that doesn't have any NAD precursors. What it has is something called copper niacin or niacin cuprose, which actually makes you make more NAD. Nuchido Thyme
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
a
I
European
interviewed her.
brand. That's what they do. So I don't know if,
Hmm.
a lot of the times, she prefers talking about the benefits of NAD, higher NAD levels as a whole, because Leonela, Conlon, I think her name is,
Yeah.
shout out, great lady. But
So
normally,
great.
very nice lady too. I think she doesn't normally explain that what they do very well is they make you make more NAD rather
Hmm.
than give you more NAD. So
Hmm.
we do both, but the second variant, which is making more NAD, is easier to do because you could use uh, herbal extracts to do that, mainly from sunflower, by the way. And we see other companies getting into that as well. There's a company called KOA, KOA, by the Nevin twins. They're influencers, but they're cool ladies that do that. So that's going there. So these are a few things that you can do. I would say I think people the minute that they see skin that they don't like around their neck and chest, they think it's too late, and I disagree.
Okay,
I
good.
think I think you can do anything from massage, like
Yeah.
yoga.
Yeah.
Uh,
Facial
um,
yoga.
Facial yoga,
Yeah.
taping, and and using products like the ones I mentioned that have ingredients like Aquaxyl, Ectoin, NAD, and spermidine. And if you are doing all of those, then also using retinoids or that
But just
peptides
not
that
very often.
or the peptide that I can't remember the name of. But you could do it more often if you cover those bases beforehand because you're kind of making the skin behave better after retinoid use, or you use just a lower potency of retinol around your neck
Hmm.
and around your lips and lips, eyes, neck, and chest.
Okay.
And yeah. Um, yeah, so those things will dramatically improve skin around neck and chest.
And so we can put the products, like we can put all of the stuff that we would put on our face on our neck and chest. No
Yes,
problem.
now,
Okay.
yes, now there is also, since
Minus
you
the
are,
tryptophan.
yes, or put it less, or do something
Hmm. Hmm.
that is
Not as
called
often.
sandwiching. Sandwiching would mean that you would use occlusive products like your moisturizer, like things like that, like BioBarrier that I mentioned before.
And then the
And
retinol.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'll do that sometimes with my estrogen cream, just
yes,
to
yes,
as a
yes,
base,
yes,
so it's
yes,
not
yes.
so dried out. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I would also say that so thyroid function and the shape of your jaw and neck go hand in hand because of water retention. So um, when people have better thyroid function or more mm, optimized thyroid function, um, they also experience a better jawline and neck, chest area. Okay, so something to say
Get
about
your,
that.
yeah, yeah, keep your thyroid functioning.
Mhm. Now, what people need to pay attention to is if they are taking GLP-1s.
Yes. But that is like, that's a, they say Ozempic phase. Really, is that not just from people are losing weight that are older usually, that then they just lose the fat in the face, and so it just looks really,
So
deflated.
you are correct to say, aren't we talking about nutrition at the end of the day? Like the lack of or the caloric the depletion there, the negative caloric intake. Although you are correct, here are a few things that you could do. So have you ever heard about the company called Adipo?
No,
Adipo?
no.
Very interesting company because all they use is omega 9s basically. And they say, hey, we make sure that you have fat, subcutaneous fat in the face. So although they are marketed as this innovation, it's really a pretty simple thing to do. You could do it in many ways. You could do it by, again, if you want to go the expensive route, you can use BioBarrier. If you want to go the very inexpensive route, you can buy um, a company called Body Bio
Yes, I know them.
has a product that is very thin oil that I'm blanking on the name that has linoleic and alpha linoleic acids,
Hmm. Hmm.
and you can mix it into your moisturizer or serum. It's a little oily, so it would be probably the moisturizer, but you could do that.
Okay.
Um, Probably it's not going to run that I mean, it's I don't know how much that product costs, to be honest. Anastasia,
And
shout
it
out to
just
my.
will like plump because the person, if they've lost so
It
much
just
weight there.
shows that it contributes to the maintenance of subcutaneous fat. Um,
Hmm.
there are a couple mechanisms there, but that's another thing that could help. I'm not saying it's going to solve the issue. What
Hmm.
is going to solve the issue is making sure that you are consuming copious amount of protein,
Hmm.
that you are um, facial yoga, actually the movement of fascia or the basically the stimulation of fascia around the face, neck, and chest is actually super it's uncharted territory, but it's extremely effective at maintaining youthful adipose tissue and fat and I'm sorry and fascia and the gliding of the skin around them. Um, because what you are doing at the end of the day, you're stimulating the release of anything from like stem cells you're making the fat still be a viable, a contributing part of your to your integumentary system, to your skin and hair follicles, basically. So you're getting more blood circulation there. So you're kind of stimulating that area, and it actually really helps. But that's not what I wanted to focus on because it's not only fat, it's also muscle, but it's also bone density. That's why I went with the nutrition aspect. So yes, you're losing fat, but you're also losing two things. You're losing muscle,
Hmm.
which is a big part of the kind of the facial infrastructure that support the supportive tissue of your face and neck and chest, by the way. We talked about the platysma muscle. That's one of the things, keeping it hot and in shape. And one of the major things that we understand, that we learn from holistic dentists, from dentists who are interested in bone mass, is that due to GLP-1s, there is depletion in bone mass. In general, when you see people that are calorie deficient, we have
Hmm.
deficiency in bone mass, and the jaw is one of the areas that are most stark in that loss of bone mass. So all of those things together are very important. How do we maintain bone mass? What I recommend, and muscle mass, by the way, but what I recommend, unless you have TMJ, is to buy on Amazon jaw exercisers that are little silicone type materials that you chew on. You could do it also with a mastic gum, which is like a gum that's very hard. But the ones that I talk about, they can go on both sides, so you don't have asymmetry.
Yeah.
And you chew on them for like, for like 5 minutes a day, and it really loads the bone puts stress on the bone and makes sure that you have adequate
Interesting.
bone mass, but also muscles, obviously.
Lifting weights for the face.
Yeah. There is one that sits on the front of your teeth that's called the Jazzerciser. It's not my favorite because I feel like it makes me like I don't know, it's not my favorite. Another thing you can do is mewing, which is putting your Google it. It's basically like putting your tongue to the roof of your mouth. It also is going to help with tightening up or engaging the muscles in your neck, the deep muscles in your neck. So all of those things are very important. I mean, are important to the extent that you want to keep a taut tissue, and if that's important for you. If it's more important for you to look at your down at your phone a lot or not doing exercise, that's also okay. But these are the two options that you have. And again, um, you want to think of protecting against the sun. You
Hmm.
want to think of molecules that are very important for, good epigenetic function, aquaxyl, ectoin,
Hmm.
NAD precursors, spermidine. And if you do all of that, then also vitamin A's and copper peptide would be another one. So GHKCU would be another one. Again, only if you do all the other ones would it make any type of difference, but we have that as well.
What about peptides in like internal peptides, the ones that you're going to be injecting or you
Yeah,
swallowing, bioregulators? Like, do you have favorites that you think do
yeah.
really help with skin?
GHKCU copper peptide. So that is
Hmm.
significantly like a billion times more effective when injected. And you inject it for
Wow.
1 month. The cycle is 1 month, 1 month
Yeah.
on, 1 or 2 months off, or just 1 month on. Like you don't, Um, oral versions don't work as well. I know now Limitless Nootropics came out with, which they probably have a different name now, but they came out with like mouth strips that you put on the roof of your mouth, and they claim
Oh.
that it work as well as an injection because they go into your mucosa in the mouth and get directly to your bloodstream. I don't know if it's the case. I don't know, but I can tell you that injecting it is very, very effective. Um, Another peptide that's very good for skin health is KPV because it lowers
Oh.
inflammation.
Hmm.
Yeah, so these two would be very good. Another thing that in general improves skin health is growth hormone.
Hmm.
So,
I've heard that
um,
before.
yeah, so CJC ipamorelin, CJC
Hmm.
1295 ipamorelin would be good. Um,
Why
what
is
else?
that? What mechanism is that working on?
A
I
few
mean, besides
mechanisms,
growth
but
hormone.
mainly, oh,
Like,
no,
how is, or
well,
is it growth hormone itself that is great for the skin?
growth hormone itself is not only great for cellular function, it's also great for something called angiogenesis, which is the rejuvenation of blood vessels or the growth of blood vessels.
Hmm.
Um, And that is very important for the skin. Like blood flow or blood supply is extremely important for the skin. To the extent that if there are a few doctors in America who lost their license a couple of decades back because they prescribed as an skin anti-aging medicine heart medication that was vasodilating.
Oh,
Yeah.
they got in trouble for that.
Yeah. So that I mean, so growth hormone is good for that, but also growth hormone improves deep sleep, which is very important for rejuvenation.
Right. Yeah.
And deep sleep is one of the most important things for skin health.
Hmm.
To the extent that there are a few studies pointing to um, how many nights you got rest between, I think it is 8 to 1 a.m. Correlating it to healthier skin. So we normally
Hmm.
say 10 to 12 is the golden 2 hours of skin regeneration, but it could be extended to like 8 to 1.
Okay. And you guys do use peptides in your products. So what peptides are great for topical use for the skin besides copper? And we know that GHKCU is amazing for topical as well.
Okay, so the ones that would be, I think, the most
Do you just use copper in yours or because I see that on your
no,
labels. Do you have other ones in
no,
there?
we actually have a few,
Okay.
but the ones that would be the most common or the most, I would say, like popular
Hmm.
would be um, copper peptide and a peptide that is called Tego Pep Up 4. You don't see it a lot in skincare currently, but you will. It's becoming popular. We use a patented version, but there are other versions that are coming out, and that is why we know it's gonna come out. It's going to become more popular. There are two peptides that we're working on currently that are not out yet. But that they are incredible for, again, to mimic vitamin A and to activate a
Mm.
gene that I referred to earlier that is called FOXO3, which is, kind of the joke is that is everyone that you know that has that has smoked into their, to be like centenarians who smoke, they
Hmm.
have an overactive FOXO3 gene. So that is really correlated with the ability to handle oxidative stress or environmental stressors they pertain to cellular aging. So we're working on a combination between those two peptides and the ability to actually do anything from lower senescent cells to increase cellular renewal, things like that. Another peptide that is pretty cool that is used top or a group of peptides are called neural peptides. They're not going to be specifically for your neck and chest. They're going to be mainly for crow's feet or fine lines because what they do is they mimic about 10% of what Botox would do. And if you remember, I said that tech neck mainly is caused because of repetitive, predictable, cumulative motion.
Hmm.
And what these peptides are doing that are cool, aside from giving you some immediate result, not really immediate, but result that is viewed quite quickly, they also do something really cool, which is they don't allow the skin because they kind of tire the synapses from firing over and over again in the same predictable manner. They disperse the signal, so your skin folds in different ways in
Ah.
less consistent ways. And thinner skin is better at, or they work better with thinner skin. So bear that in mind. That's why I said around the eyes or nasolabial folds, which is from the end of your nose, sides of your nose to the sides of your mouth, basically. Um, these are the ones that are affected from it the most, and they are pretty good. So some of them are called Snap 8. We use it in our eye cream. Uh, Argirellin, Lufacil. Synake, Syn-ake, which we are not using yet. There are whole skincare lines that are built on that peptide. And that's just, I think they want you to call it snake because it's a synthetic peptide, but they found it in snakes. That's part of the paralysis um, ability of different snakes. So that's a
Okay.
synthetic mimicker of that. Um, but there are like enormous skincare lines that are built on that. Um, yeah, that's it. I'm going to say something interesting. So people think that exosomes are very effective for the skin, right? But the exosomes are the carrier vehicle. What's inside the exosomes, which are growth factors, peptides, bioregulators,
Mm,
things like that, this is actually what does the work on the skin.
okay.
So I would put peptides, I would put exosomes there, but we need to know what's inside. So we need to
Okay.
quantify the exosomes. They are not available yet. We're working on deriving exosomes from blood platelets, which would be able to be quantified. And kind of we'll say, hey, we chose those because these have high growth factor concentration and peptides and things like that. But for now, especially if you do it professionally, um, exosomes can be also an effective adjunct. The last thing I'm going to say is an effective adjunct is microneedling on the neck and chest.
Okay.
Not radio frequency microneedling, which you should be very careful around your neck and chest, but microneedling on the neck and chest is actually extremely effective as a long-term strategy.
What's the best way to get rid of the broken blood vessels on the face? It's my
Um,
personal question for you.
that's with a laser. It's called
Laser.
there is a laser that is called, I'm blanking on the name, but there is a laser, which normally I'm not the biggest proponent of lasers. I think they should be done when you've covered all your bases and you're extremely effective at recovery.
Hmm.
Having said that, lasers for blood vessels are not really absorbed in the skin. They are targeting blood vessels, specifically the wavelengths there are ones that absorb in blood vessels and not in your skin. So these ones are actually very, very effective.
Is it the IPL laser?
IPL is
Intense.
not a laser, it's
Oh,
intense
okay.
pulse light,
Okay.
which could be effective. It depends on, by the way, on your pigment as well, your skin color,
Okay.
and it mainly works on pigmentation. Could also work on blood vessels, but it's less precise. So I would suggest
A laser.
a laser. Yeah, Moxie, I think. No, Moxie laser. There's so many lasers, and their names are so.
I know.
But so I think Moxie is a laser that is able to do that. But again, if you go to a dermatologist, this is actually a pretty well charted field. You'll
Okay.
find, yeah.
I know. I just have heard, mixed things like, oh, don't do this later because in the long run, it's
I'm one of
gonna,
those people who would say that unless
yeah,
you are dialed in, unless your hormones, your gut function, and your skin function is youthful and well.
dude, I am totally dialed in.
That
So I
could be a
could
good
be a
idea,
good
and yeah,
candidate.
you could be a good candidate. But for again, for blood vessels, I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
Okay. So before we wrap this up, I want to ask you, like, you have a lot of option on your website.
yeah,
I've got my faves because I've tried quite a few of them. Your oxygen face
yeah. The
mask.
hyperbaric mask. Yeah.
Is that one of your biggest sellers? It's got to be.
Wow, it started as a effing experiment. We didn't even know what to say about it because it's not really a mask. We
No.
called it a mask just because we wanted people in the beginning to use it when they go into a hyperbaric chamber, and we couldn't explain like what
Oh.
this is. My joke is that we're going to call the product pink goop. Um,
I
but
thought it was like going to mimic kind of a hyperbaric chamber on our
it does
face.
it does not from the pressure and oxygen um, perspective, but from a pathway perspective. So the pathways that it activates are identical to what would be activated in a hyperbaric chamber. Plus, it does make your mitochondria go through more oxygen to create more energy. So it's not that we're
Mm.
providing oxygen. You actually don't need more oxygen in your skin. Your skin, as it gets older is less efficient at utilizing that oxygen. So we're perfecting the utilization of oxygen. Um, so that is definitely one of our best sellers, and
Okay.
it's such a bestseller. It was very hard for us to innovate within it because we don't want to
Don't
mess with
mess
the
with a good
mojo.
thing. No.
Yeah, but we
Me and all my podcasting girlfriends that are all menopausal,
mhm.
every single one of them, I've heard them say at some point, "Oh,
Yeah,
the oxygen hyperbaric mask by Young Goose, that's my
yeah.
favorite." It's like it's
We do have a new
luxurious.
version. We do have a new version that we're going to come out with that actually has that snake peptide. But
Oh, I
but
can't
that
wait to
is a
try it.
yeah. That's a really cool one. Um, that is a product that we've been very proud of. It's been actually many companies, very big companies, try to reverse engineer it. So there
Oh,
you go.
it's so lovely.
I
It
would
is.
say if someone wants to start, I would say go for one of the youth products
Okay,
because
yeah.
they pack the most punch.
Okay.
So Youth Reset Serum to me is the best product to use. We're talking about
Oh,
neck and
good.
chest
I
today.
just told my girlfriend that last night. She was like, "Tell me your top products." And
Yeah.
so, of course, I had my own in there, but then I had, you know what? For a day cream, I said
Yeah.
use the Youth from Young Goose.
Yes. So Youth Resets the serum, Youth Daily is the
Hmm.
moisturizer. Because we're talking about neck and chest, the Youth Firming Neck and Chest would have those other ingredients that I mentioned, like Aquaxyl, for example, that are really only needed in your neck and chest. Like you would not need them anywhere else. Even if, if someone is extremely dry, maybe because they're menopausal and the way, or if they have thyroid
Hmm.
issues, and part of the expression of that is dry, flaky, or extra, or skin that has a very hard time like maintaining moisture. Maybe they're going to use the neck and chest cream on their face. I've seen people do it and love it. But in general, these are things that are more efficient around the neck and chest. So Youth Firming Neck and Chest is really good. And my new favorite product, which is the Ladder Serum, which is a serum for red light therapy. Um,
Oh,
so
I haven't tried that yet.
it's incredible. It doubles the effects of red light therapy, but it also gets activated by red light and goes after UV DNA damage. So it repairs UV DNA damage.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
it's incredible. We based it on
Okay.
very interesting set of studies.
Did you
We
put
took like
methylene blue in it?
we did not put methylene blue in it because we're going to come out with this product, which anyone listening can't see it. But this is a prototype of a product that we're going to come out with
And
with
it's
methylene
blue.
blue. Yeah, and actually it's in collaboration with Transcriptions, which
Oh, yay. Yes, they're one of my sponsors, so
so
I love them.
I
Yeah.
love them too. And obviously
That's great.
we could cooperate with whomever we want. So that, that should tell you that we believe in them and we believe in their product and their
Oh,
innovation. And
absolutely.
they helped us develop a delivery method for topical methylene blue that you could actually have the same concentration you would have it as if you did in methylene blue IV.
Oh.
But it's not going to dye your face blue.
Yeah, that would be the thing. I do have
Hmm.
one. I have a methylene blue cream that I use. I don't even know who it's from. And I use it when I use my red
So
light mask.
there are two companies that do methylene blue creams. What I would ask people to do is to look at the ingredient list,
Okay.
and you'll see that methylene blue or methyl chloride which is the inky name for it. It's going to be the last ingredient on the ingredient list because the amount that they use, because they can't have a good delivery system to not paint your face blue, the amount that they use is so minuscule. You really are not getting any, mm, you know,
Ah,
as Dr.
it's
Scott
not
Scher
right
from
from prescriptions.
Proscription says it might work on one cell.
Well, and I believe him. He's
Yeah.
so smart,
By the way, as
and
an
he's
evidence, if you can see all
yes,
my
yeah.
like
His
my
tongue is blue right now,
yeah, my
everyone, and
tongue
his
is blue.
lips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I talk to you, you've got your blue stained
Yeah.
lips. I took I swallowed mine because I knew I was going to be recording today. So,
Yeah, you're smarter than I am. Anyway, yeah,
well, that's
so
exciting. So you've got
mhm,
the blue coming out. If somebody's just wanting to get started with just a couple of your products, the youth line, the
yeah,
serum and the cream, probably
yeah,
your best bet. And then
hmm
if you can do it, ladies, oh my gosh, wait till you try the oxygen mask. It
yeah,
will be your
definitely.
favorite too.
Yeah,
Everything about it is like super luxurious when you put it on. I savor mine, and so I won't use it a lot, and I use it more in the winter because I feel like it really hydrates my
yeah,
skin.
yeah.
And so I use it very carefully and
hmm
selectively so I don't run out too
You
fast.
don't need a lot. You don't need a lot.
You
That's the cool
don't.
thing. Yeah,
No, that's it. That's the thing actually with most of your products, all of your products, and with most facial stuff is, and I tell women this, I'm like, if you're using a combination of different products, even if you're using them daily, like once a day or whatever, I'm like, it's still going to last you for several months typically.
yeah, yeah.
Like I've had your stuff for months, the
hmm
same bottle, and I
Yeah, I
use it
know.
daily. So
There
it's,
is a
yeah.
famous, there is a very, very, very famous actor, like really, really famous actor, probably the mm, one top like three most famous actors in the world that uses our products, but I think he, I think he's like using them very seldom. Um, like I think he makes them last a very long time. So he just like some girls in our company are very excited when he orders their they know because he can we have a Shopify, so if you mark
Yeah.
in a user, you can get notifications when they order, so they know when he orders, and they get excited every time, and he's and if a few months go by and he didn't order, they're like, why didn't he order anyway?
He's being
Yeah,
cheap.
I'll tell you who. Yeah, I don't know. Also, sometimes they order to different locations, right? Like maybe
Yeah.
they have different
Yeah. No,
houses.
I
Justin
have
Baldoni would order
one
like,
very famous woman that orders mine, a
yeah.
very famous country singer. And so every time,
Oh,
and actually my warehouse guy was like, is this the, and I can say who it is because well, I think I can. Maybe I can't. Is that no? Okay. You're like, no. Anyways, he was like, is this the singer? I'm
mm-hmm.
like, yes, it's the one because somebody I know knows her and recommended my face cream to her.
Uh-huh.
And so then she started buying the whole line. So she's using my progesterone, she's using the
Nice.
estrogen. I'm like, oh, this is so
Nice.
amazing. I'm
You
like,
see,
could
my
she just
heroes are very different. My heroes are like like a tech guy. Uh he now got fired by Tesla, but the guy that ran the Tesla Cyber the big trade like shipment like with 18 wheelers that Tesla developed. He was in charge of their product of that product development. When he ordered product, I was excited, not
how would you even know who that was? That's so
so
funny.
actually he specifically asked a very complicated technical question, which customer service we have once every couple of weeks, like a meeting about very complicated questions and education. And they're like, yeah, he said he's from Tesla and he blah, blah, blah. And that he said who he was, basically. I don't know, maybe to make sure that he gets the attention he thinks he deserves.
Oh,
But
right.
then I know who he is. So I got excited by, you know, this guy or
Yeah,
some people who, some people that we would know from the tech industry. That's who I would be excited by.
that's very cool. It is. All right. I think we've gone way over
Yeah,
time. So thank you so much for your time. You always give me so much time and I really appreciate it and
it's my
all your
pleasure.
advice. And it's great. It's great to talk skincare with you. And I know that we'll have you back again because there's obviously no shortage of things to talk about when it comes to skincare with you.
Yeah, and things change all the time. And listen, you are a wonderful person. I think it's important for people to know, like, I make sure that I interact with people that I love their credo, right? Their agenda, their ethos. And you're
Hmm.
definitely one of them. You're
Right back at
Badass,
you.
badass Canadian businesswoman podcaster, and I wish you even more success than what you are having right now because you deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you. And right back at you. I appreciate you and everything you're doing for all of my midlife women. And ladies, I'm going to link to Young Goose in the show notes with my coupon code KM10 so you guys can get a discount on your order. And thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you.